Hello everyone and welcome to ZP Productions, and today we'll be testing another mic here. Now, the reason I'm doing all these mic tests is because so happened that I got friends in the industry and I got some suppliers that actually carry those mics, so I test them out. Now, the last time, of course, I purchased the 8060 and the 416, and today we'll be looking at a very premium mic, the Schoeps Minicmit, which is this one, and then it's here the blue color mic. And this is the minified version compared to the CMIT 5U. And you know, if you look at the forums and go online, the industry standard, most of the time people will say it's either the CMIT or the GPA. These are one of the top end microphones you can get in the market. Of course, there is the Senken and the Sennheisers too. And they are all, you know, very good microphones. So today we'll be looking at the CMIT, Minicmit to be exact, and then we will be comparing with, of course, something half the price, the MKH416, and that is something that you will see alternating at the bottom left-hand corner. Now, a bit of my setup. This is the mixed pre-tree, and connected to channel 1 is the 416, and connected to channel 2 is the Minicmit by Schoeps itself. So as with my other reviews, I'll be going through everything and then doing some tests, and then follow up that we will end with a little bit of concluding thoughts between both mics. Now today we'll just be comparing with the MKH416. I will be doing a separate video where I get my friend down with the DPA 4017 to test out, and then we have the battle of the shotgun microphones, which is the Minicmit, the 8060 here, and then we have the DPA 4017. So for today's video, just the 416 and the Minicmit itself. So the Minicmit comes in a packaging, which is the Schoeps, the box, I believe. I think if you buy Schoeps before, you get this funky box. And inside there is, oh, I cannot pull everything out, but I don't know why it got stuck. Inside the box there is the windshield. Then they give some cable tie by Schoeps. I don't know, there's a Schoeps branding on the cable tie itself. And then there is the box inside with the mic holder, and then enough space to put a Minicmit inside the box itself. Now this inner cutting is slightly nicer than the one I saw online. The one I saw online was really awkward. So this one is actually probably a nicer box to use. But I think this is the same box used in their Colette series. Okay, that is pretty much it for packaging itself. And then the microphones is up here, but I will bring it down to show you guys a comparison. It is about 15 cm tall, 151 mm to be exact. So it is slightly shorter than the microphone on my hand now, which is the 8060. So this is the 8060, and the Minicmit is actually shorter than the 8060 itself, about 2 cm shorter. So it is one of the shortest mic you can get in the market. You know, the DPA is, I think, slightly longer than it still. So the Minicmit is really one of the shortest mic you can get, and one of the really coolest mic you can, of course, purchase. Now the Minicmit is, as I said, the Schoeps version of the minified CMIT 5U, and the Minicmit has no filters to select from. It has a built-in high-pass filter that will cut off most of the, you know, low-end rumbles below 70 dB. I mean, it was a 24 dB cut if I'm not wrong. Now, in terms of the power gain itself, it is the same as the MKH. So, in fact, in post, it is the same. I tried it before. There is no difference, or maybe at most 1 decibel difference between it and the MKH416 itself. So, it's not a poor mic or a good mic when it comes to general gain structure. Now, the mic itself, not only is it very short, it is also really light. I mean, it is only about 78 grams. The only other mic that is lighter than it is the DPA 4017B, shotgun mic, or the DPA 4017C, also another shotgun mic, just a different amplifier unit. Both of those mics are even lighter at below 70 gram. I think one is 68 gram and the other one is about 60 gram itself. So it is extremely light for the DPA. So you can say that all these are really light mics. By the way, the 8060 is still 112 grams. Now 50 grams doesn't sound a lot, but at the end of a boom pole, especially a 2-meter one, it weighs a big deal of difference. And but then again, 50 grams is nothing compared to, let's say, the blimp that you're going to use. So the blimp probably weighs way more than the mic itself. That's something to note. Now, the Minicmit is positioned as complementary to the CMIT 5U itself. So in places where you cannot use the CMIT because of its length, the additional 10 cm is actually quite a little bit of length. You can always consider getting the Minicmit and then putting them together. So that is one thing to note about the Minicmit. I mean, that was its initial design. Overall though, the pricing wise, it is very close. I mean, just 150 USD difference between the CMIT 5U and the Minicmit. So I mean, it's personally a preference to choose between the Mini CMIT and the CMIT 5U. I mean, everything can be also done in post EQ, but if you don't want to do post EQ, you want to just press the filter and go, I think the CMIT 5U is a better choice than to go the post process and have to do the EQ there. Other than that, the Mini CMIT, if you ask me, is a really, really nice microphone all around. At least so far when I heard it, I think it's great. So that is so much for the description of the microphone itself. The microphone don't come with anything else, just that the mic, the windshield, and the holder. So there is nothing much else to talk about. And so let's now move on to the test itself. Now the test is something that I already done it. Okay, wait, just hear a while. There is a plane flying outside my window. So the test is something that I did it before in the last two reviews itself for the S060 and of course my Boya PVM 3000S. So the test, as you can see in the left side, now this is exactly the same test, which is on axis, which is what I'm doing now. It's about 7 to 8 inches away on axis, and then there will be the off-axis test, and then followed by the traffic noise test, which is a simulated test, where I put the traffic noise to the left side of me. Then I will let you guys hear the room sound, and then follow up by some other test itself, which is close up, and then pop test, and then finally we will do the test at 2 feet away. I also add in a whisper test to just let you guys hear how it sounds like when you whisper about 2 feet away from this microphone itself, to let you see how it picks up very low volume sound. And pretty much that's about the test itself. Before we start the test, let's talk about the response with the Mini CMIT. The Mini CMIT has a frequency response that is relatively flat. As I said, a roll off at the low end, but no significant bump, unlike the MKH. So I think that will be the most significant in terms of sound you will hear between the both mics. But no, rather than me wasting time, let's go on to the test itself. So I won't be doing the on-axis test because that is what you've been hearing since the start of this review itself. So we will do the off-axis test. I will count 5 on the left and right and then let you guys compare. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this shows you the slightly off axis of both microphones. You can replay it a few times with the bookmarks below. But we'll move on to the next test, which is the simulated traffic test. So what you can hear is actually a very loud traffic sound simulated on the left side with my speakers there. Now this is using the Boss Revolve, and compared to the last two reviews, I fixed down to 75% for this because both mics were relatively good in rejecting sound. So 75% would be a better test for both of these mics compared to my previous review, which was about 50-something%. Now, this is a very chaotic sound, so if you really have no choice but to do an interview or some sort of work next to such a traffic, I think this will be a good test to let you guys hear how does a sound comes out within such a condition itself. Now just a note, based on last few tests, I think that I will keep it in such a way that I will speak normally. I'm not going to speak louder, unlike the very first test I did, so that let you guys hear how does the mics extract the voice naturally in such a situation. So that's pretty much it for the traffic test when I'm speaking. Now I'll keep quiet for the next 10 to 20 seconds so that you guys can hear the difference between the traffic sound. The next test will be on the room noise and generally the noise the mic makes. So next test we will do is a close-up. I'll stand up and then move within 2 inches away from the mic so that you can hear how it sounds like if this was a close-up microphone used for voiceover, which is the MKH416, quite popular, it's used there. Now, this is a close-up of both of these microphones. I can let you guys hear how it sounds like if you are talking really, really close to both of these microphones. I'm keeping my head straight so that, it doesn't have any variations between the microphone itself. So, which is a better voiceover microphone? I'm not too sure. I mean, traditionally for voiceover, you may use some other mics like large diaphragms, dynamics, but the 416 is quite famous to be a voiceover mic. Now, normally when you do voiceover, you probably want to put the windshield over it, the foam windshield. But for today, we are test the microphone raw sound itself, and this is how it sounds like when it's raw. So next thing I'm going to do is the pop test. Peter Piper pick a pack of pickled peppers. 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 Now, which mic pops more? I'll let you guys listen, and then we'll move on to the final test, which I will move 2 feet away from the microphone and let you guys hear. Then I will do a little bit of whispering there. So now I'm about 2 feet away from the microphone. The microphone is aiming somewhere at my chest level, so you guys can hear how the microphone sound like about 2 feet away from me. Now, I'm going to move a little bit to the left and right later, but before that, let's talk a little bit here. Now, the microphones I have tested before, they sound pretty okay at 2 feet. In fact, they sound really comparable again. Now, the frequency response of the MKH416 will probably make a bigger difference than almost anything else, at least at the sound quality at this distance itself. But maybe I'm not the best listener. You can make a decision yourself after listening. So now I'll do the same thing off axis, but rather than go 5, I'll go 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is a whisper test at 2 feet away. This is a whisper test at 2 feet away. Can you hear what I'm saying? I think the mic does pick it up, but I'm not too sure. What's the quality like at 2 feet away? And that's pretty much it for the test in the room itself. And now I'll move back to my normal position and we'll talk about the concluding thoughts between both of these microphones. Now, for my concluding thoughts between both of these microphones, I've heard it already, so this is actually a recording so that I can do a proper review. But on general, they sound really, really close to each other. I mean, one is 1,000 USD and the other one is like 2,150 USD. Both of them are really, really expensive microphones, just that one is even more expensive. Now, the question is there an advantage, in terms of what should I say? What is the advantage of buying a high-end boom mic? Shotgun mic compared to the 416. Now, if you go online and read, everybody will say that the Schoeps sound more natural, sound better, and to a certain extent, I agree on it because maybe there's no this high presence boost that's available by default. It sounds more natural to my voice too. That's something I have to agree on. It also gives my voice a little bit more body, and the 416 just sound a little bit thinner when you're comparing with the Minicmit itself. But other than that, to think about it, for more than twice the price, 1,150 USD difference between both of these mics. Is it worth it to actually get the Minicmit then? Now, the Minicmit, of course, is lighter, is smaller. It's only 78 grams compared to 175 grams of the MKH416. So maybe that may be a bigger determining factor. But then again, there's of course the DPA, the 8060s. There's so many great mics out there. So is the Minicmit the really, really best microphone? After hearing today, I don't really know. I mean, I really love the Minicmit. Very natural sounding vocals from me. But that's only if I compare and listen and concentrate. And this is with the 416. The 8060 sounds a little bit more natural, just that it has this upfront feeling. Maybe, then again, with the 8060, the comparison gets even closer, and then the next question goes in, do you want a Minicmit or not? Now, there is, of course, some difference, especially in the traffic one. I did notice the traffic sounds quieter on the Minicmit compared to the 416, but the overall clarity feels about the same. At least when you start speaking in front of both of these mics, I don't really think there's a huge difference. But yes, the Minicmit does attenuate the sound a little bit more. In the other test, there is one very significant one I remember. I'm not sure whether is it the same in this video. I think it will be the pop test. Now, the voiceover between both of these mics, when you get close, I'll say as the difference between them is that the 416 just felt a little bit brighter with this really high presence boost, while the Minicmit just felt more natural with more body, a little bit more body. But if you ask me between both of them, when you speak up close, not much difference, can be EQ'd. But the biggest difference really is that the Minicmit, without the windshield foam, it is extremely pop resistant, like really pop resistant. I mean, I went to see the waveforms and I can see that the 416 is actually popping, while the Minicmit isn't popping itself. Now, will that make a difference in your recording? That will actually make a difference if you think about it. If you are the type that want the purest, very purest sound, and you don't even want a windshield in front of your mic, the Minicmit can actually do it to a certain extent. I mean, I don't really recommend it. At least put a basic pop filter in front. But at least you know that with a pop filter in front, the Minicmit will be popless totally compared to the 416. Means you can really go up, front, and close to get that deep proximity effect without any penalty itself, no pops. So that may be a very big advantage. I mean, I think that if you put the windshield on the Minicmit, it will be even more pop resistance than the Schoeps SM7B, or way more pop resistance than the 416. I do not know whether you want to spend 2.1k to do it as a voiceover mic. Maybe some will, but that is something for you to think about. And that's about it for today. Which is a better mic? I will leave it up to you. To me, both mics are good. One is half the price. The other one is twice the price at 2,150 USD. So I really can't tell, or should I say, I myself really can't say which is a significantly better mic. It does sound like the Minicmit is slightly better, but is it 1.1k better? That's for you to listen, and then we can discuss below in the comments. That's about it today. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you next time. In fact, the next time I see you regarding mics will be a comparison between the Minicmit, the 8060, and the MKH416. I will invite my friend Karen, and she will be helping me record the 3 microphones indoors in some living room, and then we will do a little bit of outdoor too to let you guys hear 3 of the probably highest end shotgun mic you can get in the market today. That's about it for today, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.